Could you tell that story, the Dazed and Confused story of leaning in, of taking that risk?
Yeah, so I mean, the initial one started when I went to on a Thursday night, went to my favorite bar at the top of the Hyatt because I knew the bartender. He was in film school with me. He'd give me free vodka and tonic, so I went there. I get there that night. He brings me and my girlfriend vodka and tonic, tells me, hey, there's a guy at the end of the bar producing a movie. Let me introduce you to him. I walk over, he introduces me to him. 4 hours later, that man, Don Phillips, legendary casting director, who was actually a producer on Dazed and Confused, we get kicked out of that bar. I've had as many vodka and tonics as he had since I sat down, so I'm not leaving easily either. And I'm standing up for my new friend who we hadn't done anything to get kicked out of the bar. We really hadn't. We were just kind of standing on top of the tables, imitating some golf shots we had played on similar courses in the past. So we get not so politely escorted out, and he's in a cab, or we're in a cab. He's riding with me to my apartment, going to drop me off before he heads back to his hotel. He pulls out a joint, or I pulled out a joint, start smoking. He goes, hey, you ever done any acting? And I said, man, I was in a, Trisha Yearwood video for a second, kind of more of a modeling job. I was in a Miller Lite commercial for about that long. I go, I don't know if you call that acting. He goes, well, you might come to this address tomorrow morning, 9:30. You might be right for this part. It's this character called Wooderson in this movie, Dazed Confused. I think you might be right for the part. Now, this is 3-something in the morning, so 9:30 came really quickly, and I was on time probably 5 minutes early. And we were already pretty tuned at this time. Now, mind you, I get there, I walk in, they go, Matthew? I go, yes. They go, Don left the script for you. I open it up. It's signed by him. Hey, here's the part. Wooderson, I got 3 scenes in there, 3 lines. They're all marked. Check them out. I think you might be right for it. Good luck. Let me know. We'll call you in for an audition. I go away. I go look at these 3 lines. One of them was what I like to call these days a launch pad line, which is a line that sometimes they'll have in a script where if that character means that line, and that character's not playing that line as an attitude or a wink or a joke, if that character means that line, you could write a book on it. You could write a book based on that reality. And that line in Dazed Confused from the character Wooderson was a line when he's leaning against the wall outside the pool hall. High school girls walk by. He checks one of them's backside as they go by, and his buddy says, Wooderson, you got to cut that out, man. You're going to end up in jail. And Wooderson says, no, man. That's what I love about those high school girls, man. I get older, they say the same age. That line, I went, who is that? There's a book on somebody. If that's not trying to be cute, if that guy's not trying to say something coy and clever, if he believes I've got life figured out, man, this is my North Star. So that line informed who the character was. I go, I read for it. I remember the first time I got called back because they said the sound was bad. And now I come back, I don't know if the sound was bad or the fact that I just needed to come back, was an excuse to come back and read for Richard Linklater, the director, who I did read for, and I got the part. Now, the role was also based on, as I wrote about in the book, who I thought my brother was when I was 11. My 17-year-old brother was already my hero. He was cooler than James Dean. And we had one day where his car was broke down, and my mom and I were supposed to pick him up from school, and he wasn't where he was supposed to be. We're looking for him. I'm looking at the back of our station wagon, and there I see this silhouette of this guy leaning against a brick wall, left boot heel against the brick wall, leaning back, lazy cig in the right hand, smoking, and it was my brother. And in that silhouette, he was 13 feet tall, coolest dude in the world. And just as I went to go, wait, there's Pat, I remembered, oh, he's going to get big trouble for smoking, so I won't say it's him. My mom goes, who? I go, nothing. But that image in my 11-year-old eyes, that was Wooderson. So we get to the set one night, and I just go in for what's supposed to be a makeup wardrobe test, meaning put on makeup, put on wardrobe. When the director, Linklater, can leave the set and gets a minute, he comes, checks you out, eyeballs, gives you a few notes, and you say goodbye. I'll see you when I come back for work. Well, on this night, I come out of the trailer. Linklater shows up, has a look as he's walking up. His hands go out. He's just going, yeah, Wooderson. It's like peach pants. Is that a nudes t-shirt? Oh, I like that. What's that over there? That tattoo? That's a Black Panther tattoo. He goes, yeah. Look at the hair, the comb over. I like it. I said, cool. About to say goodbye, which I think. And he goes, say, man, he goes, you think, Wooderson's been with the typical hot chicks in school, the cheerleaders and stuff. I'm like, yeah. He goes, you think Wooderson would be interested in the redheaded intellectual? And I'm like, yeah, man, Wooderson loves all types of chicks. And he goes, well, listen, the actress Marissa Ribisi is over here in her car. She's got her nerd friends in the back. It's the last day of school. You think maybe you want to pull up and try and pick her up? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, okay. You want to do it now? I said, give me 30 minutes. I took a walk. Now I'm about to be in my first scene. There's nothing written. I've not done this before, but I'm going over scenarios. Where are we? Last day of school. I got some change in my pocket. I'm working for the city. Sure, redhead. Next one, we're going to go out. I'd probably speak a little Spanish. Pop, pop, pop. Next thing I know, I'm in the car getting a lavalier mic put on me. I'm getting a little anxious, but I'm going, who is my man? Who is Wooderson? What do I love? What do I love? What I love? As this mic's getting put on me, I'm like, I love my car. I said, bam, I'm in my 70 Chevelle right now. There's one thing I got going for me. I said, I love rock and roll, man. I said, shit, man, I got Ted Nugent Stranglehold rocking in the 8-track. There's 2. I said, I love getting high. I said, well, man, Slater's riding shotgun. He's always got a doobie rolled up. There's 3. And that's when I heard action. And as I looked up, dropped it into drive, thought of the 3 things I had while I was going to get the 4th. And I said to myself, and I love picking up chicks. In drive, pull out 3 affirmations of the 3 things I did have on the way to get the 4th. All right, all right, all right. Pull in, have the scene, try and pick her up, ditch the geeks in the back, gonna be a, fiesta in the making, whatever it was, kind of spoke a little Spanglish, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden it was over, and a lot of people are laughing. And Rick comes up and goes, oh, that's great, great. We'll try it one more time, do this, that. Did the scene maybe 2 times, 3 times, I don't remember. And finish it. I get out. People are laughing. I just had fun. I think we're Cochran in the seats, Roy Cochran, the actor who played Slater, in the shotgun seat. He's giggling. He's like, that was good, man. That was good. And I'm like, cool. And all of a sudden, I'm about to leave, and Rick invites me back the next night. Got put in some other scene. Anyway, he invited me back every night for 3 weeks. And I worked 3 weeks. Now, what I found out 2 years ago was Rick also asked me that night on the sidewalk, hey, you think you'd be interested in the redheaded intellectual girl? Is because Rick he had just noticed that night that they had a story hole. They didn't know what car they were going to go, I think, pick up the Aerosmith tickets in. And who else had a car. Pickford had a car, and I was the only one who had a car, and had a guy who had a job. And he was trying to start to fill a story hole. He didn't tell me this till like a year ago. And that's why he invited me into that first scene at the Top Notch Barbecue, where I said those 3 words, which were the first words I said on screen, which were the 3 affirmations for the 3 things my guy did have. And I think they came from, not intentionally, but leading up to that role, I was listening to a lot of Doors. And there's a live track of Morrison at some Doors concert. I don't know where. I think it's in Europe somewhere, where he barks out, all right, all right, all right, all right. Very aggressively, not Wooderson style, but like 4 or 5, all right, all right, all right, all right. And somehow that popped. I had no plans, but it popped in my head in that moment as being, let me take that version, just give 3 of them for the 3 things I've got for myself, but in a more laid back, cool way. All right, all right, all right. Pulled up.